So now we are ready. We are going to start with the presentation. Now look at this slide. This is the title slide of mine. And as I told you that we are going to discuss about string tuple list dictionary. If you look at this title slide itself, you will have pretty good idea about what we are talking about. The string is the heading, Python 2020 meet #2. Number 2, we have string tuple list dict. These are the contents which are going to be covered. And as it is a tuple, it will be immutable. We will not cover anything else in meet #2. In the middle box, you see there is a assignment for empty list in which I have added my name. Then I have added Mr. Mohit's name. And then I further added Mr. Rajesh's name. And we can add any number of names here because all of you are part of the contributing team. Later on, I would need your suggestions with the help of which we can make these meets more successful. In the last rectangular box, you can see I have given an example of dictionary where the date is associated with 11th June 20, is associated with 4 p.m. and the count of meet is 2. So this title slide itself is complete to explain all these 4 topics. However, we'll now move to in-depth. When we go to the CBSE curriculum, we have these topics under strings, traversal, operations such as concatenation, repetition, membership, functions or methods, len, capitalize, title, upper, lower, count, find, index, is elnum, is lower, is upper, is space, is alpha, is digit, split, partition, strip, L strip, R strip, replace, and string slicing. These are all topics under strings we have to do. Then we have lists. Under the list, we have definition, creation of a list, traversal of a list, operations on a list such as concatenation, repetition, membership, functions, methods such as len, list, append, extend, insert, count, index, remove, pop, reverse, sort, min, max, sum. Then we'll be doing list slicing. Nested lists, finding the maximum, minimum, mean of numeric values stored in a list. Linear search on list of numbers and counting the frequency of elements in a list. Apart from this, we'll be covering topics from tuples, which are going to be creation of tuple, traversal of a tuple, operations on a tuple, concatenation, repetition, membership, functions, methods such as len, tuple, count, index, sorted, min, max, sum, nested tuple, tuple slicing, finding minimum, maximum along with min values stored in a tuple, linear search on a tuple, and then counting the frequency of elements in a tuple. And the last topic which we'll cover is going to be from dictionary, where we'll be doing creation, accessing elements of a dictionary, adding an element or item, modify an item in a dictionary, traversal, functions and methods such as len, dict, keys, values, items, get, update, del. Now in the syllabus, there are 2 things written over here. However, there is only one, that is del. Clear, from keys, copy, pop, pop item, set default, max, min, count, sorted, and copy. So now let's understand what are these four things which we are going to do, namely string, tuple, dictionary, and list. Basically, list is a mutable collection. Dictionary is a mutable collection. Tuple and string, both of them are immutable collections. When we talk about list, list is a mutable collection of any one or all of these which are listed here. These are the data types as well as collections. So within a list, you can have bool, int, float, list, tuple, dictionary, string, and set. Set is not in your course. However, here we can tell them that set is similar to dictionary, where we have values which act exactly in this manner as they work in mathematics. Number two, we'll be talking about dictionary, where dictionary is a mutable collection which is containing pairs of key and values. And here, the key can only be bool, int, float, or str, whereas value can be any of the listed data type, like bool, int, float, list, tuple, dictionary, string, or set. So this particular illustration is complete description of dictionary. Dictionary is a mutable, that means we can modify the content. It is a collection where we have a pair, key value pair. In others also it is key value pair, but the key is automatically assigned, and that is why we do not have any control on the key. Like list also has key, but there the key is going to be starting from 0 and going up to n-1. Tuple also has a key, which is again automatically assigned, which is starting from 0 going up to n-1. String also has a key, but list, tuple, string, all these three have automatically assigned keys, whereas in dictionary we have freedom to assign key, but the key is going to be only from these three data types: bool, int, float, or str. Number three, what is tuple? Tuple is nothing but immutable collection which is containing bool, int, float, list, tuple, dictionary, string, and set. And the last thing, which is string, is nothing but a immutable collection of character sets from ASCII, UTF-8, UTF-16, or any other. We can customize it to work for any character set which is by standard acceptable in computers. So with this, we move to the detail. I would like to request whosoever mic is on, please put it in the mute condition. It is Mr. Pavan Singh. Okay. So now we are starting with string. Now, string is nothing but an immutable data type in Python. The content of string can be enclosed inside pair of single or double quotes. It is the default type entered by the user using input. These are a few examples of strings. String can contain any character, any special character, numeric values, as well as alphabets. It can be enclosed inside double quotes or single quotes. And within that also, if you want, you can add any kind of special character. Now, string traversal. There are three ways we can traverse string. We can simply display the content of string by writing print city. This is the first way of extracting character by character from string. By writing for C in city, we'll be able to extract first character, second character, third character, fourth character, and so on. In the second one, we are traversing string with the help of its index value. So city I is nothing but P in the beginning when it is starting with 0. So it is going to be city 0, then city 1, city 2, city 3. So you can see the output of the first loop and the second loop is identical. So it is coming from here and this one is coming from here. Next, concatenation, repetition, and membership. Let's take input from the user for two strings and we add them together, insert a space in between. So simple plus symbol can be used for concatenating this string with space, and then whatever result comes out, that is going to be concatenated with T2. So if we have entered Delhi and Dubai, so it is going to contain Delhi space Dubai. So when we will be displaying T3, the content will be displayed as Delhi space Dubai. In T4, if you want to store T1 into 2, that is repetition. We are talking about repetition here. So 2 times the same string content is going to be repeated. So it is going to be Delhi, Delhi without any space, because when we entered the value of the first string, we did not leave any space here. So it is going to be displayed one after another. And then we are saying print T1 into 2. So whether you write T4 here or you write T1 into 2, it makes the same sense. Okay. So here we write T1 into 2 directly in the print statement, or we write T4, it will display the same content, that is Delhi, Delhi. Next, we are talking about membership, where we are saying if T1 in T3, T1 in T3, T1 is right now Delhi. In T3, we have stored Delhi, Dubai. Obviously, it is part of it. So it is going to display Delhi part of Delhi, Dubai. Next, we are checking whether T2 is not in T4. What is T4 right now? T4 is Delhi, Delhi, and T2 is Dubai. So if we'll say Dubai in Delhi, Delhi, it would have been true. But where, if we are saying not in, it is going to be true in this case, because Dubai is not present in Delhi, Delhi. So it is going to be displaying Dubai not in Delhi, Delhi. So this is the way concatenation, repetition, and membership, all of them are covered. So this is how it is coming out. Next, let's look at this example where we are talking about find. Find is a method with string which allows you to look for a particular string inside another string, and it looks for the first position of that particular thing, and it is going to display the position. So if I am saying find B, it will look for the position of B. B is present here as well as here. So it is going to look for the very first position. It is going to look for the very first B, which is going to be 0 and 1. And that is how 1 is displayed. Next, we are looking for 3xy. 3xy, we'll start from here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 3xy is present at 6th position. So it is going to display 6. Then we are saying yz. So when I'm saying yz and I am saying start from 0th position and check up to fifth position. Why fifth position? Because it is going to be n plus 1. So if I look for this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to here, we don't find YZ. And that is why find will return -1 here, right? So if it is not able to find out the required string, it is going to return -1. So if I am looking for A from -5 to -3, now we have to look at the bottom part of the presentation where I have displayed the position in positive index as well as negative index. So if you look at the place where -5 is there, and I am looking for position of A. So -5 and -4, these are the two positions from where this particular statement is looking for. So just look at the place below the arrow, red arrow, you will find that particular place of A is going to be 10. So while displaying, it is going to display the positive index of the position of that string which has been found within another string. So it is going to display 10. If I am looking for AB, it is going to return -1 because in between -5 and -3, AB is not present. It is present after that. And that is why it is going to display -1 as the result. Okay, you can see here -1 as the result. Next, we are looking for ZAB, and I am saying starting from 3, third position onward. That means C onwards. We have to look for ZAB. So it is going to display the position as 9, because you can look at the table below where the position of ZAB is 9. In the same way, if we are looking for 213, sixth position onwards, 213 is not present, sixth position onwards, and that is why the output is going to be -1 here. Next, we are looking for AB from 5 onwards. So it is going to give us the position as 10, because the second time when AB is present is 10th position. Because if we are saying 5 onwards, obviously it will not show 0 as the position for AB. It is going to show you 10 as the position for AB. Next, we have to look at capitalize, title, upper and lower. So when we are saying capitalize, it is simply capitalizing the very first alphabet of the string, and remaining will turn into small letters. When we say title, each word of the string will turn into capital and remaining will be in small. When I am saying upper and lower, this is, all of you know that all the alphabets will turn into capital letters in case of upper, and all alphabets will turn into lowercase letters in case it is lower. Next is count. Count is to return the number of occurrence of a string in the given string. And it again has the same 3 parameters which was there in find also. So it has 3 parameters. First parameter is the substring, second parameter is from where, and third parameter is end plus 1, up to what. So you can look at this example where we are entering a story, and then we are taking a substring, and then we are looking for how many times that particular substring is present. So you look at this, the story is the boy was playing with the dog of the house, and we are looking for the, okay. So the boy was playing with the dog of the house. What we are looking for in this is the. So it is going to tell you that the is found 3 times. If I am looking for the, from the entire string, I am not putting any starting point and any ending point. That means it is looking for the entire string. Then the second, we'll look for the length of the string. So it is going to find out length of this entire string. And then we say Cn is equal to T dot count from the main string, the substring, to half onwards up to the length of the string. So if we have the entire string as this, it will take out the half of the string, and from there up to the last of the string, how many times this particular character is present, that is going to be checked here. So it is going to give you answer as the found 2 times. So basically the first the will be missed out here because it is not looking for that part of the string. And then we move to index. Index is very similar to find. The only difference is in find, if something is not found, it is going to return -1. Whereas in index, if something is not found, then in that case, it is going to throw an exception. That is the only difference between find and index. So you can look at this example where we have the same string and we are looking for similar kind of content. In all other cases, it is going to give you the required position of substring in the main string. But in the last, when it is looking for the content which is not found in that portion of the string, then it is going to show you a value error, right? So basically in find, this would have been returned as -1. In index, it is going to give you value error. Next, this is already known to all of you, is elnum, is space, is alpha, is digit, does what. But here, when we look at is lower and is upper, this is something very, very special all of you should know about, is that if you are checking for is lower, what it checks is at least one lowercase letter should be there and no uppercase at all. Apart from that, anything else is there, it is not checking. And when we are checking is upper, it does the same. It looks for at least one uppercase letter and no lowercase letter. Apart from that, any content is there, it is fine with it, right? So this is what it makes it special. In other languages, it is not like that. So let's look at this example, which covers these methods. So you just see T1 is space, T2 is 1, 2, 3, 4, T3 is AB 1, 2, 3, T4 is ABC, and T5 is ABC space 4, 5, 6. So if I am saying is a space for T1, it is definitely going to be true. If I am saying T5 dot is a space, there is a space over here, but it does not have only spaces, and that is why it is going to turn into false. Then T2 dot is digit, it is definitely only digits, so it is going to be true. When I am saying T3 dot is digit, this contains digit, but as it is containing alphabets too, it is going to be false. Then T3 dot is elnum. T3 dot is elnum. So what is T3 here? AB 1, 2, 3. It is definitely going to be true. And if I am saying T5 dot T5 dot is lower, it is going to be T5 dot is lower. It is definitely going to be true. Reason of that is there is no uppercase letter, but there is number of lowercase letters. Even if it would have been A 4, 5, 6, it would have been true. Then T4 dot is upper. T4 dot is upper, definitely going to be true. And then if I say T3 dot is alpha, T3 dot is alpha is going to be false because it contains digits also. Next, we are going to talk about split. Split is required to be there for returning a list of strings after breaking the given string with a given separator. And you can also specify max split with it, and max split is nothing but a number to split the string into maximum of provided number of times. If not provided, then there is no limit. So let's look at it. There is one string given, we are the world, and we are splitting it. So when we are splitting it, space is by default taken as the splitter. So it is going to separate out we are the world. So there are 4 words. Second time, while splitting, we just override the default. Default was space. Now in place of space, the splitter string is E. So it will split from here, and split from here. So it is going to be W space AR. Just notice the space. And then space TH. And after this, there is E. So it will make another word as space world. In the next one, let's split it from E and space. So after E, the space is also going to be taken as a splitter string, E space, E space. So we are going to have WARTH and WORLD. Just notice the difference between second and third. The difference is only about the spaces. Okay. Next, when we are splitting this string with the help of R, it is going to split it from here and split it from here. So we are going to have V space A and then E space TH space WO and then LD. Then we are saying ARE space on both sides is going to be the splitter string. So we'll be having one part as V, another part is the world. So the third last list you can check here is nothing but we and the world. Now, this is another example where we are having maximum split. So if I am separating out with the help of space and I am saying 0 number of splitting words, so it is going to display the entire string inside list because we are saying 0 number of splits. If I am saying 2 number of splits and splitting string is space, so it is going to be having we are the world will be the last one. So if I'll say 3 here, it is going to be the separately and world separately. If I say 1 here, it is going to be we and the second string will be are the world. Next is partition. Partition is nothing but it is going to search for a specified string and split the main string into a tuple containing 3 elements, the first part, second part, and third part. Now let's look at the example. We have the world is round. So if I'm specifying is as the splitting partition part, so it is going to have is in the middle and the world in the beginning and round at the end. If I split it from not, so it is going to be the world is round. Basically, not is not at all part of this particular string, and that is why it will make other 2 split partitioned string as null strings. So whenever it will not find that partition string over here as part of the main string, it is going to make the second and third part as empty. The last example where we are splitting it with world. So in this case, the first part will be the with space, second part will be world, and third part will be space and is round. Okay. So every time it is going to have 3 parts, unlike your split. In split, we can have many parts, but in partition, it is going to be always 3 parts, first part, second part, and third part. And if at all the partition string is not found, in that case, the second part and third part of the tuple are empty string, or you can say null string, like in the second example. Next is strip, L strip, R strip. It is nothing but removal of characters or string from the beginning or the end or from both sides. So basically, strip is going to remove from both the sides. L-strip is going to remove the string. The default string is spaces, and non-default can be entered by the user. So basically, here you specify which character is going to be removed. So by default, if you do not put it, it is going to be taken as spaces. Now, look at the example. Deliberately, I have kept hashes on both the sides so that we can see the impact of removal of characters from the string from both sides or one of the sides. So in the beginning, if you notice, I have kept 2 spaces here and more than 2 spaces here. So if I say t.strip, you can notice from both the sides, spaces are removed, and the space which is visible to you in the output is coming from the spaces created by comma. Okay. Next example, when we are saying L-strip, it is going to remove the spaces only from the beginning of the string and not from the end of the string. And that is why you see all the spaces present here. The third example, where we are saying R-strip, it is removing the spaces from the ending position of the string, and in the beginning, 2 spaces are as it is present. Now, in place of space, I can make use of any other character. So in the second example, I am placing star over here. So when I say t.strip and I put star here, it is going to remove star from both the sides. In the next example, when I say t.L-strip, it is going to remove stars from the beginning. When I say R-strip, it is going to remove stars from the end. Next is replace. Replace is basically used to replace a portion which is old of string with another that is new. The third parameter is optional as count or number of occurrences to be replaced. If the third parameter is not specified, it will replace all the occurrences of old with new. So it is a very, very useful thing. It is equivalent to your find replace in any of the documentation tool. So what you do, you just look at wherever India is written, you want to replace it with Bharat written over there. So you just find and then you replace with all the India words with Bharat. So in this case, you can look at the example where we are assigning a string Johnny, Johnny, yes, Papa, which was a very, very famous poetry in our nursery time. So in this case, what we want to replace Johnny with Tony. So if I write S1 is equal to t dot replace Johnny to be replaced with Tony. So if I display S1, it is going to be Tony, Tony, yes, Papa. Now in the next one, if I say Johnny, comma, Tony, comma 1. So basically I'm again referring to the original string. So here we are writing T here. So if I do that, it is going to be Tony, Johnny, yes, Papa. And in the next example, I am replacing Papa with Daddy. And I am again referring to the original string here. So you can see here, the change is Johnny, Johnny, yes, Daddy. So this is very, very useful method available in Python for replacing word with another word or sentence with another sentence in the entire paragraph or entire story. Next is string slicing. String slicing in string, list and tuple slicing is almost identical. It's just that these are 3 different data types on which they work and give you the results accordingly. Look at this example where we are writing smile is free as a string assigned to a variable t. If I say t0:3, it is going to take out first, second, and third. Only SMI will be taken out basically it is going to be taken as end plus 1. So it is going to work for 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2 positions are SMI. Now, the second example which you are seeing is not an example of slicing. It is extracting a single character out from a string. The third example says 2 onwards everything. 2 colon means 2 onwards everything. So 2 onwards means ILE is free. Next one is from the beginning up to 9. Up to 9 means 9 is not included. So it is going to display smile is, right? The 9th character will not be displayed. It is going to display 0th, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. 8th is space. Colon, colon, minus 1. Colon, colon, minus 1, if you are writing, as soon as minus 1 becomes the step, in that case, the default starting point will be the last point and ending point will be the first point. So it is going to simply traverse the string in the reverse order. So if you notice, this is the reverse of the entire string. So smile is free is reversed as irf c elims. If I say 1 colon 13 colon 2 in step of 2, so M L space S F E. Up to this point, it is going to display. If I write T colon colon, I do not specify from where to start, from up to what, and what is the step. It will take all of them as default, and default is the starting point, ending point with step of 1. So it is going to display the entire string. So T colon colon is same as simply writing print T. Next, we move to tuple. Now, tuple is a very, so I was talking about tuple. Tuple can be used whenever you want to compare certain things with the help of some standard values. For example, I give you one example as traffic light. Another can be direction, like north, south, west, east. These are the standard directions. You can talk about month names. Month names are standards, January, February to December. And sometimes you may talk about week. So you can put all the names of weekdays in one particular tuple. Whenever something is entered, you can compare and you can find out whether it is part of that particular fixed set or not. So you don't have to put many if statements. You can make use of membership operation and you can find out from the universal set the value entered by the user is matching or not, and so that you can validate whether it is right or wrong. Here you have an example of tuple which is containing. Okay, so the first example we are having all integers. Second example we have all float numbers. Third example we have all strings, and the fourth example we can have any type. Okay. Now let's look at this particular example. These are very, very interesting facts. All of you should know. If we are writing a is equal to 1, 2, 3, and I put a bracket, round bracket around it, it does not make a tuple. A single value tuple, if at all you want to make, you have to put a comma along with the value. Otherwise, it will be taken as a particular data type of the base nature. Like here, a is equal to 1, 2, 3 inside round brackets will be taken as integer. B is equal to 3.45 inside round bracket will be taken as float. C is equal to Amar inside round bracket will be taken as string, and D is equal to round bracket true will be taken as bool, whereas an empty round bracket will be taken as tuple. So you have to always remember whenever you are making a tuple, and if at all it is a single value tuple, you have to put a comma along with it. So if you want to make this as a tuple, you have to write 1, 2, 3, comma. If you want to make this as tuple, you have to write 3.45, comma. If you want to make this as tuple, then you have to put a comma here. If you want to make a tuple with this, you have to put a comma here. Otherwise, it will be taken as the original data type only. Let's look at another example where we are talking about assignment and traversal. It is almost similar for string, list, and tuple. In all of that, you can extract individual values, you can extract any value and perform any operation. So you can see here, I am extracting 0th and 3rd value, so 45 and 35 displayed. And then we are displaying the last value is displayed, and I am operating with first and second value and second and third value, so it is going to operate with it. And then I am displaying the content of a tuple by extracting each value out in I, and I am displaying it like this. Another way is with the help of an index value, we can extract the content. So basically, last two lines are doing the identical thing. In one, we are extracting the value. In the other, with the help of index value, we are displaying individual values of tuple. Next example, concatenation. So when we talk about concatenation, we can concatenate a tuple just as we can do for a string as well as list. So if we have two tuples, if you write A plus B, it is not modification of content. Please remember, by adding two tuples together, producing another tuple is not mutable behavior. It is remain immutable behavior. It will simply create a new tuple which is containing the content coming from two different tuples. So you can see here 23, 45, 50, 60, and 70, right? So all of them are in one single tuple. So in the same way as you did A plus B, you can do B plus A also. In this case, the content of B will come before and A will come later. Not only that kind of thing, you can also add another tuple like this also. So you have NML as Anujay, and you add another tuple as Lee and Hop. So they'll be added here. And if you have Ken and Tap added with N, so that will be added in the beginning of the same string, same tuple. And then last, you can see here, as soon as you try adding a single valued tuple without putting a comma, it is going to give you type error. This is what I was talking about. So as soon as you have a single valued tuple added with tuple, it will not be allowed. Basically, it will return type error, right? To correct this, what we can do, after tan and quote close, we can put a comma, and after gen, we can put a comma to fix this particular type error, so that tan as well as gen will be treated as two tuples. Right now, they are treated as two strings. Next is repetition. Now, repetition also has the same behavior as it was there in string. So if we have one tuple as red and blue, so if I say call into 2, it is going to produce a new tuple which is going to have the repetition of the content. So red, blue will be repeated. In the same way, in the second case where we have 1, 2, 3 as the content, when we say 3 into num, we are going to have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 3 times 1, 2, 3 will be displayed, and it will create a new tuple. Okay. So for everyone, I'll clarify, whenever you are putting examples of concatenation or repetition, you are producing a new tuple, right? You're not making changes in the existing tuple, and that is why the immutable behavior remains. Okay. Immutable behavior does not allow you to modify the existing content. That means in call, if I have red and blue, by no means I can turn this red into yellow. I have to create another tuple in which I can do that. But in this particular tuple, from red, this content cannot be changed to yellow, or blue cannot be changed to white. So that is the meaning of immutable behavior. Next is concatenation. Now let's look at this particular example. So I was just talking about the single valued thing. That is going to restrict this program to run. Just look at this example very carefully. It will allow me to enter the value of this input for the first time. But as soon as I do this, it will stop me because it will encounter an exception. And this exception is type error. Basically, it is trying to add integer into a tuple. L is a tuple. Integer cannot be added in tuple. So a tuple can only add another tuple. So to make it a tuple, what I will do, I'll add a comma at the end. Just look at this example. Look at both the examples at the same time. The only difference what you see in this example is this comma. And as soon as I do this, my each single value will be treated as a tuple, and tuple is going to be allowed to be added in another tuple. So it will produce a new tuple. Okay, so when I am saying L plus equal to, I am not actually making changes in L. Please do not understand it as that I am making change in the existing L. L plus equal to means L is equal to L plus. That means my old L got added with a single value and the result gets stored in L. So it is not modification in the same, but it is a new tuple getting assigned. Okay, so that is the meaning of this. Next is concatenation. Similar to this, in this case, we were concatenating single values, and here we are concatenating pair of values. And as soon as we do pair of values, there is no issue. We'll take first value as S, second value as T. S comma T will make a pair, and that pair will get concatenated in L, and it is going to be producing the result as AB. So AB, CD, and EF. So 3 times this particular loop will work, and every time it will take a pair of values for first and second. First time we entered A and B, second time we entered C and D, third time we entered E and F. The final result which got stored in L is going to be A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. Now let's talk about immutability. We were discussing about immutability. So what is the meaning of immutability? Look at this example where we are assigning A as 23, 45, 67, 78, and then we are printing the value. It is going to be displayed as it is. As soon as we try modifying the content of this tuple, here you will get error. Okay, so here you will get type error. Basically, this 23 here, cannot be modified. It will remain 23, this will remain 45, this will remain 67, this will remain 78. And that is why very first time when it will encounter A0 plus equal to 2, it will not be allowed and you will get type error. Now let's, in consolidated form, let's see what works with tuple and what does not work with tuple. Append, extend, insert, remove, pop, reverse, sort. These functions or methods do not work with tuple. Now let's look at what all works with tuple. Len, count, index, min, max, sum, type, and sorted. All these will work with tuple, right? So in one single screen, at the end of this topic, you can tell them that these are non-supported and these are supported methods and functions. Now, slicing of tuple we have already seen. So I'm just skipping this slide to cover list. Now, list